Right, welcome to Employee Leave App Part 2. All right, in Part 1, we were able to build this landing screen. So this session will be looking how we can actually, so as an employee, when you click on this, it takes you to your dashboard where you can see the request you've created, and there will be a button where you can actually create a new leave request. All right, so without wasting much time, let's get started. So I'll be adding a new screen. So I'll be adding a new screen. So we already have this. So the next thing is just to click on screen, new screen. So I would call it, I'll rename it to employee view requests. I'll call it employee dashboard. Employee dashboard. All right, this is our employee dashboard. So we'll be working with a vertical container. We want our app to be responsive. So we'll be working with a vertical container. So I will be inserting a container, insert a vertical container. So same way we did for the landing page, the width and height, you set it to parent.width and parent.height. So we say the width is parent.width. Then the height, parent.height. So you set the x and y to 0 to make it to fit proper. X 0, the y you set it to 0. So the next thing is to just want to take out the drop shadow and the border radius. So I'll take it out, and the drop shadow I'll set it to none. For now we don't need it. When we need it, we'll apply it. So I would also set the border to none to this. So the next thing is we want to add our header. All right. In the next subsequent session, I would show us how we can make it a component so that you can reuse it in different screens instead of recreating it multiple times. So so let me rename this container here. I would call it I think I've used main before, but let me just main container. I use main container. So I would name it, we've named it main container. So the next thing is to add, you can either use a rectangle or a container for your header. So I would go to insert. I'm not using a rectangle. I want to use an horizontal container. This is an horizontal container. Giving it a height of 70. Turn off the flexible height so that we can give it a height of 70 and see. I'm giving it the height of 70. Then I want to take out the what's it called? I want to set the border to none. Border radius, I'm setting it to none. So drop shadow, if you want to give it a drop shadow, you can set it to bold. Then the fill, if you already have some colors defined, you can just manually just come here and select a fill. If you want to use this as your fill, you can set it, you can use it. But I think for uniformity, I have a color called primary fill, which is almost the same thing. So I would like this. So remember, this is our, what did we call it? This is our header. So I want to rename it to header container. This is header container. So the next thing is to add, we want to add our text label and text label inside. So insert the text label. So this would be the name of, let's say, employee let's call it employee leave tracker. employee leave tracker, then let's give it a width of parent.width divided by 2 so that it can parent.width divided by 2 divided by 3. So let's change the color to white so that it can be visible. This is it. We can make it bold. If I make it 16. Alright, this is it. So this is why we are using container, vertical container, horizontal container. Now we want to align it, so the direction is horizontal. So we want to justify it on the horizontal axis. We want to say center. If you put it center now, it will be on the middle. If you put it at the end, it will be on the end. Space between. So let's add another. Let's just call this title. Let me copy first. I want to paste it. Then I want to rename it this one to title. Title label. Name already exists. Label. Let me label title. Or let me take it out and just say title. So if I do it like this, it stays. Then I paste the second label. Alright, so you can see this second label, we want it to just say welcome, the logged in user. So to do that, we can just say, we can come here and say welcome. Welcome space. So you now concatenate. We'll now be using the user function here. Dot full name. So you can see, welcome. My name is Godwin Honor. So now, since we are using horizontal container, on the horizontal axis, if you align it to the end, it will move everything to the end. But if you use space between, look at it. It has given it space. So now you can now add, then the vertical, put it to the center, so everything will be on the center. You can see this is one of the beauty of using containers. Alright, so the next thing is just to give it a padding from the left so that it can. You go to padding left, let's say 20. Padding left 20. Let's increase it to 30. Let's see 40. Okay, for now, let's leave it at this. So we can choose to move this text. You can just give it a padding on that text label. So we can say 20 to push it a little to the right. Alright, so if you preview, this is what we have. Welcome, employee leave tracker. So the next thing is to add another container. So we are trying to show, we'll be adding another container for our gallery. So this is the header container, and alright, this now select this and insert. I want to insert a vertical container. This would, I'll be cutting this short. Alright, so because of it will be taking time, because I would be explaining in detail, so it will be taking time, so I might be cutting it short. So now we'll have to set this dynamically. So the height of this will be parent.height minus this container.height. So I want to copy this. So this is the container. Let's call it content container, so that this will be accessing our content. Alright, this is our content container. We want to set the height dynamically. So I want to turn off the flexible height. So we'll go to the height. We now change it from 200 to parent.height minus this container, which is the header container.height. So you can see everything is positioned proper. So want to give space within it so that the next container will have some space inside. So I want to give it padding left and right. Padding left, let's say 30, padding right 30. You would see the effect of this. Then padding left 30, then bottom, let's say top 20, then bottom, let's say 30. So having done this, we want to now take out the border so that the border will not be visible. Take out the border radius and we take out the drop. No. So if I preview this, you would not see, there is no container. You are not seeing any container, but there is one. So having done this, we want to add another container of container. So all right, so insert the vertical container. You can see the space, the effect of the padding we gave. The effect of the padding we gave here. I gave you the padding of 30. So if you increase it to 40 now, 40, and let's give this a drop shadow so it will be very obvious. Let's make it bold. The drop shadow should be bold. If we make it bold now, if I play this, you can see how bold it is and the space we gave. So the next thing is just to say, if you want it to be rounded, the edge to be rounded, you can just look for the border radius. And let's say you want to make it 15. If you set it to 15 and you preview, you can see it. If you want it to be more than this, you can increase the border radius. You can increase the border radius. So I'm turning off the flexible height. So I want to give you the height. Let's set it. Height. Let's say parent.height minus parent.padding button. It will now lap proper. Parent.height. So minus parent dot padding bottom. You can see it has lapped very well. So if we increase the padding bottom to 40 also, you will see it will readjust. Let's change it to 40. It has readjusted. So let's publish this so that if I play this, you can see everything is going well. So we can add another container to say welcome. All right, so let me add another container here inside this one, container of container. All right, so the next thing is to add the container. Once you go over the video again, you will see how it goes. Just container of container. So we can just say container, vertical container, then you turn off the flexible height. Currently the height is, we can see, let's give it the height of 150 and see. Let's see, this works. Let's see if this works. Okay, let's take out the border radius and also the border. Then drop shadow, we are setting it. We want to set the drop shadow to none. So with this, if you preview, you are not seeing anything. So I will just copy this text and paste it there. So we just change the color to black. So we also want to change the bold to be bold normal. Should be bold normal. So we can choose to give it a padding top so it can move a little bit. All right. So we can, if we want, one of the beauty of working with container is you can choose to align everything. So that, for instance, this is welcome Godwin Honor. So if I want this one also to start from here, I'll just add padding to this container. Let's give it a padding. Let's increase the padding left to 60. So if you want everything to start together, you can increase it, but let's leave it at this. So I want to reduce this height to 100. The space is too. So I want to copy it and paste. So we change the text. I want to change the text to "It's nice seeing you again." So this is the. Alright, welcome, God will honor. It's nice seeing you again. So this is what it reads. Welcome, it's nice seeing you again. If you want to padding top, if you want it to come down a little, you can increase it to 15. Alright, so having done this, we can rename this to this container, we can call it subheader. Our container are getting much, so subheader, so I will just copy it. So the next thing is, having done this, we're trying to build a nice UI. So we'll go to the parent container, the container housing this. So I will now insert another container for our gallery now. So container. So now it is taking the remaining space. So if you like, you can resize it by just saying, well, if you don't want to, so I can turn off the flexible height, then give it the dynamic height. I can turn it off, then go to the height property and say, I go to height and say parent.height minus this subheader container.height. So it will fit improper. You can say parent.height minus this dot height. You can see it fits proper. So this is how to set the width. You can say parent.width minus padding left and right. We can say width. You can say parent.width minus parent dot. We added padding left and right. You can say parent dot padding left minus parent dot padding right. So if you do it like that, no matter the screen, it would fit in proper. So if you reduce the screen size, it will fit in proper. Your app is going to be dynamic. It's going to be responsive. All right, this is taking much time, but then it's just for us to have a good app and all that. All right, so the next thing is we want to build our gallery, so that we can display the request that has been created. So before that, I would just add a button so that you can click on this button to create new requests. I'll be adding a container also. I'll call it container. I'll be adding a horizontal container. I'll turn off the flexible height. I'll give it a height of, let's say, 50. Let's 60. Alright, the height of 60. Inside of this, I'll add a button. So the width, I'll just copy the width of this and paste it there too. So because it's the same width. I'll copy this width. Paste it here also as the width. And the same thing here as the width also. So what we have is parent.width minus parent.padding left and padding right. Remember, we added padding left 40, padding right 40. So inside this container, what are we going to name this container now? Let's call it new requests container. Let's call it new request container. So with this container, we can use it to, if you want to reference it. So now we'll just add a button. You can add a button here. So if you want it to be on at the edge here, I'll just come to this container, then align it horizontal to the end, then give it a padding right so that it can move it. Let's give it a padding right of 40, 45. Then vertically we say center. So the text of this will say new request. So new request. Then the field, we don't want this field, we want the field to be, we want to take out the field. So you want to take out the field, you just come here. We want the field to be transparent. Then the text should be black. So if you preview this is how it's going to look. So you can see there's still hover color. I want to take it out. So you go down. The hover color, we'll just make it color.transparent. 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 Then also we'll just copy it. The press, when you press the button, we want to make it so that. So with this now, if I preview my app, you will see that would not be, those hover color will not be there anymore. Alright, it's taking time to save, so let's just be patient a little. So it's taking time to save. My network entire. So let's just be patient. So it's save and we proceed. Alright, so it's taking time to save. Alright, we'll continue. Sorry, I had a glitch, so I had to pause the video and we are continuing from where we stop. So we're talking about this button here, adding a new request button, which we've done. So the next thing is to add another container that will be housing our gallery. We'll be using gallery for our table. So the next thing I'll be doing is adding a container, also a vertical container. So I would click on this vertical container. So we can rename it so that we can reference it. I want to call it gallery container. Gallery container. So if we want to resize it, we can still say parent.height minus this upper container.height. So we can turn off the flexible height. We can turn it off, then we say the height. We'll go to the height property. We say parent dot height minus this upper container, which is this one here. The name is new request container dot new request container 9. New request container 9 dot height. So it will fit in proper. So the next thing is to take out the radius, the border, setting it to none, drop shadow. I'm also setting it to none. So if I play my app, you can see if I click on this, on hover, we need to add a color to the font color on hover of our button so that it will still be having a. So we'll go back, we'll go to this button, we'll now go to on hover, we'll go to the button property. You can see the hover color, it is white, so you will not be seeing the text. So you change it to black. So if I preview the app, see, if I hover now, you can see it is still visible. Alright, so the next thing is this inner container, which is the gallery container. I want to paste this container here. So clear this. So let's rename this. Okay, this is the information container. So we want to rename this to most recent leave request. So we want to I want to give it a padding, so I want to shift it. Remember, I want everything to align. So let's check on the padding of this. Padding left. This padding is inside of this one. So the padding left is 40. So let's try and give it a padding left and see. Padding left of 40. Okay, you can see everything is aligned on straight line. So okay, having done this, we'll be adding our gallery, or we can add one more container again. That one will just be just for the just for our gallery. So this now, this, which is the gallery container, I will still add another container inside container, nested containers, vertical container. So you can either leave it like this. If you leave it to take out the flexible height, it will take the remaining space. But if you want to set it again, you can turn it off and see, you can change the height, go to the height again, the same way we've been doing. You see parent dot height minus the container on top, which is the information container. Information, how did I dot height? Let's be sure. Information, the name of this container, information container 8. Okay, we are correct. So we'll now turn off the border radius, we'll turn off the none, and can now set this to none. So if you preview this is how our app is looking. So now the next thing is to add our gallery. We'll now be adding a gallery, a vertical gallery. So I'm adding a vertical gallery. So this is what we will use in doing for our table. So we can choose to give it a padding left and right, so that you can see padding left 20, padding right 20, so that you can see that space. So the next thing is to just format it to look like a table. So we'll now go to our gallery. I'll go to this is our gallery. You now open it. So if I scroll, we don't need this rectangle, so I would delete it. this separator for now, I don't think we need it. If we need it, we'll add it. Or let me leave that. Then this one, we don't need it. So I'll delete it. This, let me just delete everything. So we'll just add the text label afresh. So we don't need this. We can even change the layout. If you want to change the layout, you can come here. The layout, currently it is image and all that. So we can try and see. Title and subtitle, image, title, and there are different layouts. So I'm taking out the image. I'm deleting it. So you now, on this, we also want to use a container to align every item. So before the gallery, we were supposed to add a header. Sorry, before the gallery, we were supposed to add a header container so we'll do that. So on this, I want to add a container. We can choose to copy this one. I want to copy this. And come here. Rename it. God. So inside of this now, I want to paste that. This will be the header. If I paste it, it will be the header of our gallery. So we now have to reorder it, set it to the top, reorder it, move up. So now we want to the width. Let's resize the width so that let's check for the width. Parents dot width minus parents. So we want to take out the padding left and right. Minus parents. Again, dot padding right. Dot padding. You can see. So you can choose to take out the height. Let's give it the height of 50. Okay, height of 50. Then I'm taking out the bold. I'm taking this bold. Setting it to none. Then what else? This is our header for our gallery. So what else are we doing? So we want to check out the width of this one. Then this one is this. Then this one is this. Then this one is this. Housing this. Let's say minus 10. All right. So having done this, let's set the border to none, border reduce. So we want to now resize padding. I want to take out the padding left and right so that everything will start padding left. Let's put it to 0 or 5. So this first text label, now we'll call it serial number. We'll now give it a width of 50. Let's give it a width of 50. Then height. So let's reduce the font size so that if you play this, you can see this is serial number. Let's delete this. So the width, so we can now rename it and call it. So I can choose to just copy this one and paste. Copy, then go back to this header container and paste it. We'll now call it employee name. The video is taking long, so we'll have to, after we design this, we'll have to cut it. So we'll give it a width of 300. Let's change the width. Width of 300, and the text, we can make it, we can say employee name. So now you can see, let me just go back to our container. It is spacing it, so we just have to, from a start. So now they are close. So I want to set it to bold normal. Bold normal. So they are close. So what we're going to do is to set, we have to set the X and the X dynamically. So I'll copy this first one, Control C. I'll now come to this second one, which is employee, which is employee name. Let's change it. So employee name, we'll now go to the X of it. We'll now look for the X of this employee name. We'll now check for X. The X of it will be, instead of 0, we'll now say this first one dot width plus the first one, which is serial number dot width. Let's see what it's saying. Let me rename this. Serial number. Alright, serial number. Coming, serial number. Trying to set it. I'm trying to set the X dynamically so that we just, wherever this stop, it will just continue from there. This is the column name. So this is the column. I want to copy it, so I copy. So I'll go to this one here and paste this one. It's not seen. Name is not. Serial number. Alright, dot X plus dot width. So it would make this to start from where this other one stops. So you do the same thing for others. So currently the width of this one is we are saying 50. We can make it, let's increase it a little, 60. We can copy this one and paste. So when we paste it, the name of this now, let's go back to our list and see the columns we can add. We've added employee name. We can add the leave. We'll just add few columns. We can add the, what's it called, leave type. We can add the start date and end date. Then we'll add action. The next one we can add them in our view form. So leave type, we'll call this leave type. We'll name this one leave type. So this is the leave type. So leave type, this is the leave type. So we want to rename this. We'll just copy this and come here. So leave type. So the same thing we did for this. Remember the X we were copying. So we'll just copy this same. It's the same thing. Then we'll just copy this one that is before it. We're trying to set the X of this leave type to begin from. So we'll just copy the name of this employee name. We'll just come here, copy it, employee name, and come to this leave type. We come to the X of it. Check for the X. Instead of using this, we'll now take this one out and paste it, employee name, then you can see it. So we've had, so the next thing is to add start date and end date. So we'll copy this one, copy, then we'll go to the head and paste it. You copy and paste, we rename it to start date. Start dates. So now we'll just copy this and come here and rename it also, paste it. So you do the same thing for the other ones. So this video will be a little bit long, so we'll still have to have part 2, part 3. So this is our start date. We'll do the same thing for the X. We'll now copy the name of this control, which is the leave type. Control C. Then we'll come here. Then you go to the X of it. So the X will now be the one before it, which is this one that we copied. So I'll paste it .x, then you see. So the space we have is now very small. But let's want to now reduce the size of this. So employee name, the width is what? The width is 300, I guess. Let's check it, the width. The width is 300. We can make it 350. Then these other ones, we can reduce it, the width. You can say, let's say 200. The same thing for this one. We can reduce the width and say 200. So take your time and watch, you would get it. So the next thing, we just copy this one. We want to duplicate this for end date. Copy. Then you paste it to this horizontal container. When you paste it, then you rename it to end date instead of start date to be end date. So I'll just copy it to rename the text label instead of start date. I'll call it end date. So the same thing we did for the X, you copy the start date, Control C. So for this end date now, the X will be start date.x plus start date.width. So X. Then the same thing here. So this last one will be action. So I'll just paste what we paste. So I'll just copy this, copy, go here and paste it. We'll call it action. So you can see it now. So you can choose to put this one on the center. You can choose to increase this width to push. Go to the width. Width is, we can make this 250. All right. So this is it. So our gallery is, our table is set. So we can make this one to go back a little, just reduce the padding. So I'll reduce the padding of this so that padding left. You can reduce it so that so if you play it, if you preview it, so we need it to go in a little. Let's make it 20. So we can see. Then the next thing is we can just come to this and give it a gap of like 3. Hey, I mistakenly deleted. Alright, so you can modify this, give it the padding right so that you can shift it, you can increase the padding, or you can align it anyhow you choose to do it. If you want it to be in the middle, but let's leave it like this. Then this one also, the width of this is 250. Let's make it 220. And this one also, the width is 220. Alright, so we are done with this. So the next thing is just to connect our gallery to our data source. To connect our gallery to our data source. So we also need a text input. So we can just choose to copy this one. So to do that, I can just copy this. I'll now go to my gallery now. Then paste it. So let me see if it's inside my, it's not, parent.template width. Then the height. Sorry, let's go down here. The width is parent.template width. Then the height. Let's check on the height. We want to set it to template, telling the template height. So the next thing is width. So we'll now check on the fill of this. We want to change the fill. So this is it. Our container is getting ready. Our gallery is getting, our dashboard is getting ready. So the next thing is to check the template height of this. It's currently 104. So I want to set it to, let's say, 60. So the next thing is to add. Let's increase it. Let's increase the template height to 70. The next thing is to connect our gallery to data so that we can start adding all these test labels. All right. So the next thing is connecting this. So I'll just go to my adding it to data now. Just go to data, add data, then type SharePoint. So once you connect this to data, so once you connect it to data, you can now start this item dot serial ID, this item dot employee name, this item to leave type, this item to start date. The name of my table is leave request test. So I'll just copy this first one, copy, then come here and paste it. The text instead of serial number will be this item dot, let's use ID for now. Sorry, let me link our gallery with leave request list. Let's go down. So we'll just I want to connect the gallery to this so that we can be referencing the column. All right, so we'll be having part 2 of this because this is getting long. So having connected it to data, so I'll just point it to this item dot. So if I go again, this item dot, if I look for ID, you will see my ID is now, there's no item on my list. So let me add an item. Let me just add an item so we can see. Employee name, Godwin. So I want to add an item so we can see. Leave type, vacation, start date. Let's use today, end date. Let's use 30th. Then the status is pending. I think reason for now we are not use test. So once we are done with this, we can now go back to our application and refresh our data source. So once you refresh, so we'll change the color of this to black so that it can be, so you can see. So we now center it in our container, give it a vertical to the center. So this container is refusing to, so what we'll do is we'll have to take it out and re-add another one. Let me publish. I want to delete this container and add another container. Insert container, horizontal container. So let's give it a width, parent dot template width. You can choose to add them one after the other, but using container makes everything to be well arranged and aligned to a template. So the x will be 0. So if we do the same thing, you will see everything would align. So now if I copy this text label, copy, paste here now, and give it a color of black. And change it to this item.id. You can see what we have. Alright, so the next one is we'll be adding another one. I'll copy this one. I'll paste it here. So instead of employee name, let's change the color first of all. I want to change the color to black. Then I'll say this item.employee name. Since it's a person or people column, you want to get the display name. So to make it to start the same way, we just give it a padding. Same padding, we just increase the padding. So padding. Alright, so the next one is this one. Copy it. And then come to that container and paste it. We'll change the color to black, the text color. The text color should be black. Let me go through my proper high. Just go to color. Color.black. Then the text now, instead of we want to take it to reference the list, we say this item.leave. Leave type, since it's a choice column, it's dot value. You can see. So you can add a padding left so that it can start from same with the padding left. We can So you do the same thing for the start date. You copy, paste. So this one is the start date. We change the color, the text color, we make it black. Look for the color property. This is its color. So the padding also, you just set the padding. So instead of want it to choose the selected date, this item dot start date dot dot start date. Yeah. So the same thing for this one. I copy, paste it. You change the color. You just do the same thing for other controls. this video is getting long, but I just hope we are deriving value from this. So if you're deriving value from this, please just hit the subscribe button. You can actually like and share. So I'll be dropping the next one, but we'll have to finish this before we can um, end this session because it's getting very long. So I would just change the font color, and we've changed the font color to black. Then the padding left of 20 and see. Increase it and see. So you now go to the text instead of static value. Now say this item dot end it. All right. This item dot end it. So the last thing we'll be doing here is this container is looking like I want to give it a height. I want to increase the height. Let's make it 60 and see. Okay. So if you want to give it a curve, a rounded curve, you now go to check for border. Border radius. Let's check it. Border radius right. Let's give it a 10. Then we also check border radius left. Give it a 10. This one is from the bottom. We want it. Okay, we want it on the top. Let's set it. If you want, let me leave this and preview it, and you see the border is on the bottom. But if you want it to be very obvious, you can make it to be bolder than this. So the next thing is our drop shadow is still showing here. So our drop shadow is showing here. So I want to take it out. I'm taking it out. I'm setting the border radius to 0. Then the border, I'm also setting it to none. So if I preview it, you're not seeing anything. You can see how our table is looking now. Our table is looking very well. Our table is looking very well now. So the next thing is to add the button for the action. The next thing is to add the button for the action. To add the action button, the next thing is to add the action button. I'll just on this add the button. I can choose to copy this button here, copy it, then paste. So the text, I will change it to view. I'll change it to view. Then we can add a border. We can add a border to the button. So we can choose to give it a border. Let's go to the border property. Okay, currently the border is solid. So give it a border color. I want to primary color. So if I preview it, you can see the border. So I want to reduce the width of the button. Go to the width. We can make it 100 and see. Alright. So I preview it. So I want to copy the name of this Control C. Then I want to come here the same way we did the X. Let's play with the X and see. We'll look for the X and plus the width. You can see starting immediately after it, so we don't want it like that. So I want to plus. I want to add extra so that it can move it further. So plus, let's say 30. plus 40. So let's just, this one, the width of this, let's increase the width of this one. Let's go to the width. Let's add, this is 220, let's add 30, there is, it will be 250. I want it, let's see. Let's add a gap. Currently the gap is 0. If I add a gap of 10, let's see what happens. Gap of 5. So I'll do the same thing here. Add a gap of 5. So I want to reduce this text to come. Let's check the padding or the width. Let's check the width of this one. The width is 200. Let's make it 100. Alright, I think it's better. So with this is what we have. So we can choose to, if you want to reduce the height of the button so it looks a little bit, currently the height is 40, you can make it 35. So let's preview and see. I'm thinking of reducing the width of this. Height is 35. So we are done with our gallery, our dashboard. So once the employee comes in and clicks on, let's get to save the application, then I'll show you what we are trying to do here. So we have to do the part 2 because this session is already long. Please, if you are getting value from this, you can actually hit the subscribe button, like, and also share and comment. So if you preview this is like this. So if you don't want this, I usually prefer my button radius to be on the top. So let me change it to 0. Radius bottom, radius top right. So that's what I want to do. I want to change it to 15. Radius top left, I want to change it to 15. Then radius bottom right, left, I want to change it back to 0. Bottom, this is left. Bottom left, okay, 0. Okay, bottom right, okay, radius bottom right, change it to 0. So if I preview this now, you can see what we have. You can see the corner. So this is how the dashboards will be. Most recent, once you as a user, you come in here, you come in, the dashboard will be showing you most recent leave requests. You will see all the requests you've created. When you click on view, it will take you to your view screen where you will see the details of the request. And when you click on new request, it will take you to the new request screen. So let's try and align this. This thing is shifted a little. So let me just take it out, and the padding here, I want to reduce it to 22 to 20. So the same thing here, just to make everything align proper. So if you play or preview your app, this is how it is looking. So you can see how nice our application is looking using container. With container, it's giving us a good feel and look. So the next thing is we can choose to add another button here for logout or down here, anyhow we want it. If you want it here or so, let me just do that now. This is a container. So I can choose to copy this one, copy, then paste it. Let's paste this one here. So when we go to the container, so we have to give it horizontal space between. Then we give it a padding right. Padding right. Go to your padding right. Padding right. You can see 20 and see how it looks. It's 20 okay. Vertical, you want it to be center. Take it up a little. I want to increase this one. I want to make it 13. Alright, so I want to change this one. Instead of new request, I want to change it to logout. So this is what we have here. So if, for instance, you come in, you want a new request, you click on this, you want to log out, you click on this button. So let me save it. So on this button, you want to navigate to our landing page, which is this. So I want to copy this. I want to copy. So we'll come back here. On this is a button, but we remove the border. So we now say on select, use navigate. So to navigate between screen, use the navigate function. Navigate. Once you type navigate, it brings it out. Then you can choose to the transition. You can make use of transition that you want. If you don't want transition, you take it out. So let's try it. So if I click on this, it takes me back to this place. So if I click on this, so we want to copy the employee dashboard screen. So I want to copy it. So if I play this, if I preview this, it takes me to this. So on select of this employee, we want to navigate to navigate. This is where the navigation function. Navigate to this screen, employee dashboard. That's the name of the screen we want to go. Navigation to cover, then. So let me save. So you can see what we have. So as an employee, if I click on this, it takes me to my dashboard where I can see all the requests. So if I have more than one request, I can see all of them here. So the other things we can do is to filter our requests. We can add a filter, but I think maybe in the advanced application we can do that. You can add a filter that will filter this by requests that are pending, requests that have been approved, and requests that has been rejected. So we can do that. So if, for instance, we can still choose to add another text label for status. We can call it status so that you can see the status of each and every request. There's still space here. We can add another text label here just for status to tell us the status of the request. So if I click on log out, it takes me back here. If I as an employee, it takes me here. So if I choose on log out, I can log out. So if you derive value from this, please subscribe, comment, and share. So the video is long already. So in the next session or in the next video, I'll be doing the new request. So once you click on this button, it will take you to a screen where you would fill in your leave request, and when you submit, it takes you back to this screen. So thank you very much, and expecting the next session.